guys, what is going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Before I get started, I want to say, please subscribe to me if you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed. We're on the road to 19,000 subscribers. I would love you guys to be a part of this journey. So yeah, there's an annotation right here with a subscription button that I put there for you. So if you guys want to go click that, that's cool. Or you can just use the one that YouTube provides for you, just down there. It's up to you. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You can go ahead and use YouTube's one. I don't care. I was just putting this one here for you to make it easier for you guys. But if you want to go use YouTube's, that's cool too. Doesn't bother me. Just kidding, guys. What is up? Also follow me on Google Plus. I don't use Google Plus, but I'm trying to get 1,000 followers on there so I can get my channel verified one day. And also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. Links are down there in the description. And today I'm coming back at y'all with another highly requested movie, which somebody keeps asking me to, you know who you are, keeps asking me to do a review on this. So I pushed it forwards a little bit so I could get this one done to make this person very happy, because that's what I do. I like to make you guys happy and prove that I listen to you. So today we're talking about Darkness Falls. That was Darkness Falls, in case you guys didn't understand me. Darkness Falls, I actually watched this today for the first time in my life. I didn't even know this movie existed. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. Darkness Falls is a 2003 American-Australian movie, which kind of reminds me of House of Wax in a way. And there's a part in this movie that reminds me of House of Wax. House of Wax was also an American-Australian movie, where they actually filmed it in Australia, but they were American actors, but they filmed it in Australia, and it was based in Louisiana. And I don't know if that's the same as this movie. I'm not really sure where this movie was filmed, but it was American actors. And basically the movie starts with it's like a clip from like way in the past, like years and years ago, like the really old days. And there is a woman who lives in this. The actual little village is actually called Darkness Falls. Like it must be like a place like Idaho Falls, but like Darkness Falls. So that's the actual name of the town that these people live in. And there's a really old lady who, like, she was actually innocent. She was like she just looked scary, like an old witch. And it was those days where they actually believed in witches and stuff like that. And little kids in that area used to go to her when they like lost their teeth, and they would trade their tooth for a gold coin from this lady. So everyone knew her as the Tooth Fairy, until one day two kids went missing, and they blamed it on this Tooth Fairy lady. So they accused her of that, and they killed her, but I'm not sure if they burned her or something happened to her. Oh no, her house went on fire and her face was like badly disfigured, so she had to wear like this mask, this porcelain mask. And it reminded me again of House of Wax, where the guy who was in that, the killer Vincent, he also had to wear a similar mask. It actually looked very similar to House of Wax. So I'm thinking maybe it was like, I didn't really look into who produced this movie, but it could have been the same producer as who produced House of Wax. So I thought it was really good. I loved it. And then what happened was when they blamed it on this woman, thinking she was like a witch and she had abducted these two kids, they killed her. They like hanged her. But before they did it, she actually cast a spell or a curse on Darkness Falls, so that everybody who loses their last tooth, she will come back and visit them, and she will kill them. So they just killed her. They just another witch, burn the witch, and killed her. You don't get to see that part though, but they're just like telling the story of what happens at the beginning, and then it goes on to and then they find out that the two kids that went missing, they were actually safe and sound the whole time. So it wasn't even her. She was accused of something she didn't do. She was actually a nice lady giving kids coins for their teeth, which is a little weird, but she wasn't responsible for this. But the way the village people treated her, and the way they killed her because of something she didn't do, she got angry and she cast the spell. So she must have been some kind of witch. And so it goes on to the future. So it's like years and years later into the modern world. And there's a little boy and a little girl, probably like 12 years old. And one of them's called, the guy's called Kyle and the girl's called Caitlin. And he's in his bedroom and he's like, I lost my last tooth. I'm going to stick it over here so the Tooth Fairy can come take it. But they actually live in Darkness Falls, and this is years later. Then the girl, Caitlin, who is like same age as him, climbs up through his bedroom window and she's like, do you want to come hang out? We're going out tonight. And he's like, I think they're going to like some kind of party or something. Not like, like not a grown-ups party, but like a kid's place. I can't remember what she said exactly. He said, no, I gotta be up in the morning because I have like training or something. So she was like, oh, okay, you sure you don't want to come? And then she was like, is that your last tooth? You're bleeding. And then he's like, yeah, it's my last tooth. So she's like, oh, this one's special. It means you're not a baby anymore. So she puts his tooth down, and she like wipes the blood off his mouth, and she kisses him. And I thought that was really gross. Like, they kissed each other on the lips, even though they were like 12. They were obviously boyfriend and girlfriend. They kissed on the lips, but I thought it was like, ew, she just kissed him. He has blood coming out of his mouth. And then she climbs out the window again and goes off to do whatever she's got to do. Then later that night, because it was his last tooth, and the witch person put a curse on the town so that she will visit anybody who's losing their last teeth and to kill him, I guess. I don't know. And she comes after this kid. He sees the face. It's like the porcelain mask because she's so badly burned underneath. And then he's like running around, and then his mom comes, what's going on? And then she's like, somebody's in the house with us. And she's like, nah. And he's like, yeah. And then the mom gets killed by the demon ghost thing, the demon witch. And then the boy hides in the bathroom behind the shower curtain. He's hiding in the bathtub. And then it goes on to like how the police and stuff found him, and they take him to like a mental place or foster care. And then it goes on 12 years later. So he is grown up now, and the little girl's also grown up, and he had to move to I think he moved to Las Vegas because he worked at a casino, and then he went back out. I'm guessing somewhere I don't know where exactly it was based, but it was somewhere on the east, so the East Coast. So he moved back over here. Oh, he didn't move. He came back over here because he got a phone call from the little girl, but this is 12 years later, so they're both grown up, and she's got a little brother. I know it's her brother. I thought it was her son because she's like 20 something, and the little boy's only like 6 or something like that. And she calls him and she's like, my little brother is having this problem where he can't sleep any more than 10 minutes at a time. And the doctors just keep saying it's night terrors. They're not actually looking into it, but he hasn't slept for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's afraid of the dark. Things are some woman's coming to get him. He keeps saying that. So he automatically remembers what happened to him when he was a kid. And she was like, how did you get over it? And he's looking at all these pictures that he spends his life drawing. And he says, I didn't. Then he flies out to go meet this girl and the boy so he can talk to him. Little boy's name's Michael, like me. And then it goes on from there. Like, the boy's like, he knows that Kyle, the older guy now, knows that Kyle sees the same woman and stuff like that. But as long as you're in the light, she can't get you. She can only get you when you're in the dark. And he asks Caitlin, did he just lose his last tooth? And she's like, yeah, he did. Oh, you don't still believe in that, do you? And then it goes on from there. He's accused of, he had always been accused of, he's like taking all these pills and stuff. He was always accused ever since when he was a kid of, he was the one who killed his mom that night. Nobody believed his story about this witch woman. And then it goes on from there, and later on, I'm just gonna jump right to it. They find out that he was telling the truth. He gets jumped and then in the woods by just some guy because everyone in the town knows him from like being a child, and they were like, hey, he's the one who murdered his mom. So he goes and gets jumped by this guy in the woods outside, and then the guy who was jumping him gets attacked by this witch demon woman. So the guy Kyle gets up and runs away, and then he's accused of killing that guy, so the police lock him in jail. And then there's a huge power outage in the whole town of Darkness Falls. So the whole town goes out, and then that gives this witch woman access to take anybody she wants. Whoever sees her, she gets. So she's like trying to get him, and she's trying to get Michael too, and stuff like that. And then they start to believe him, and the police are like, they don't believe him and stuff like that. But then eventually the police start to see it, and the police all get killed by this demon. Then the hospital is under attack, where he goes to get Michael because Michael was in the hospital. He's with Caitlin and Michael, and then they try and like travel. They need lights, and the whole town's out, and they're literally dependent on flashlights and lanterns. So they're traveling to a lighthouse because they know there's like a generator there, and they're gonna put gas in it and get the generator going. It's enough to last a week, so they just need to stay there until sunrise, till morning comes, and then they're gonna get the heck out of there. But until then, they have to stay at this lighthouse. But it's all about the battle between these this witch and Kyle and Caitlin and her little brother Michael. And there's also a police officer and like a doctor that's also with them, and they're all trying to get to this lighthouse. But obviously, I'm not going to tell you guys. Some people get killed off here and there, and I'm not going to tell you how it ends in case you haven't seen it. But honestly, I loved this movie. I thought it was really good. It was like a classic horror movie, you know. It was really good. And you do get to see the witch's face at the end because he like pulls the mask off, just like in House of Wax. The mask comes off and you see what's really underneath. Ooh, it's nasty, nasty. But I really enjoyed this movie. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Thank you for recommending it to me and asking me to review it. I enjoyed it, you know, and I'm surprised I didn't know this movie existed. But I recommend you guys check it out. I think the effects and the storyline could have been a little better, so I would give it like a 7 out of 10. But I mean, no, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, only because it was filmed like 12 years ago. Actually, it's longer than that, 13 years ago now. So, for a 13-year-old movie, it's actually not too bad. So it's worth checking out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love all you guys. Let me know in the comment section what movie you want me to review next. And what did you think of Darkness Falls if you've seen it? Let me know. And I love you guys. Remember to keep chasing your dreams. Peace out.